Assalamu alaikum guys, Muhammad Shehzad Ali. Welcome to my YouTube channel, A Dedicated Civilian. First of all, Jummah Mubarak. Today's little topic is about hybrid warfare. What is hybrid warfare? Information that has been spread across the world on mainstream media. Social media is where it is all the pickle. That is where the pickle jar is. On the social media, on the fingertips of your mobile phone and other devices, you receive information. What is information? Is it factual? Is it fabrications? And with that, ISPR, the head station that explains and briefs its population to what is going on, what are the current developments. And they have kind of been very vocal and explained to the public that do not be misguided, do not be lured away with wrong information, and do not go against your state. Bekuseyu, part of the state, we're part of this country. We will always uphold our identity. We will not be misguided. We will not be those promoters that will create a rift between the state and the population. Take it. Simple as that. It's very simple. However, with hybrid warfare, there is common sense to what a person psychologically believes in. You will come across, in very simple terms, two informations. One is actual facts, the other manipulations. Actual facts is based on our own state history and the current present situation. That is actual facts. Manipulations. Well, you have across the border a very powerful economy, growing economy. According to their statement, they are almost a 5 trillion economy. They spend a certain amount of a budget to disrupt Pakistan. In the last 20 years, we have seen that in the face of terrorism. But now, because of social media, they have started kind of plunge their budget into information. You can obviously see very visibly by the face of Major Gaurav Arya. As I mentioned in my video earlier before, they don't seem to be denying what they're doing and what they're involved in. So you get this chap, he keeps on giving us information, but what is his information all about? Does it have any actual truth to it? So that's where common sense comes in. But regarding across the border, there are certain setups that have been created to misinform the Pakistani public. So please do use your common sense. If you come across on your social media, on your apps, any sort of information that be passed, if you come across information which is against your state, that could be hostile, that could be certain words and speeches or videos that is speaking against the principles of Pakistan's, what is our foundation, what is our identity, what is our purpose, our military. No matter what, yes, the military has done a few hiccups in the past, but any good law-abiding citizen, anyone who cares, anyone who is a genuine patriotic, should never go against the military. Your military and your people is one coin with two sides. We're one. If the military falls, it will not be long before Pakistan falls. That is a fact. So how do you go on about it? How do you share your information? And how do you discuss in debates? First of all, speak what is appropriate. There is a manner there is a respectable way of explaining. You listen and you hear. You give and you take. The information you receive, is it beneficial or is it just nonsense? That's your common sense. However, I think at the moment, Hamari Jo stated they are quite adamant that do not speak against the military. Now, as a public member, as myself, I am a civilian, I would like to counterattack with my state military that give me at least enough space in my parameters that I may be able to at least point out certain wrongs, factual certain wrongs. That does not make me the enemy of the state. That does not make me a traitor. There's a difference between dangerous and frustrated. The dangerous, who is bloodthirsty for the blood of our officers, our jawans, they plot, they scheme, they be bought, they buy and sell weapons, they maneuver, they move from one location to another location, they're smugglers. They're involved in all sorts of cahoots that is against the state, that you can deem as dangerous. That is somebody you must neutralize and eliminate and be rid of. But then there is some chaps whom are frustrated, whom are not happy with the performances, that want to see betterment. They want to see Pakistan's military at its finest. They want to see the Pakistan's law and order, the system that it is at the moment, to improve and reach at its finest. Islam, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's Islam, the last prophet's Islam, we want to see that being governed at its finest. So then there is people who will be frustrated. But you cannot compare the dangerous and the frustrated and put them together and say, throw them into the scorpion bottle. Common sense. Absolutely appalling if that decision is to be made, if that card of hybrid warfare is to be played in such levels. Absolutely unforgivable. But with that, give the public enough space that they can perhaps humbly, appropriately, able to discuss, able to share the suggestion. And if they are pointing fingers at certain generals, then take heed, take that warning. The only intention he or she might have is to see betterment and improvement within the establishment. It is okay for us to speak for Nawaz Sharif, and it is okay when we're speaking about Zardari, it is okay when we speak about the bureaucrats. वो तो है ही नंगे गंदे हैं. Bureaucrats तो ऐसी एक ऐसा दायरा है. I would think if it was not the fear of the army, they would have sold Pakistan by now. Bureaucrats, they are the real culprits. Politicians, as we are doing now, ये लोग तो सिर्फ commission खा लेते हैं bureaucrats के साथ मिलके, but they are made for the tomatoes and the ande to be thrown at. But whenever we speak about the military, eyes, ears, they're on alert. Stop doing that. Take it easy. काश कोई किसी general के बारे में कोई बात कर भी लेता है. If that general has been involved, तो वो कोई general की पैगंबर नहीं है, कोई prophet नहीं है, इंसान है, हमारी तरह का एक इंसान है, who just happens to wear the वर्दी, ठीक है, उसने वर्दी पहनी हुई है, and we're upset because तुमने कुरान दिया, हलफ दिया, वर्दी पहनी और तुमने वो काम किए जो तुम्हें नहीं करने चाहिए थे. क्या तुम वो काम कर रहे जो किसी आम बदमाश से बंदा एक्सपेक्ट करता है? चोरी का सिर्फ एक रूप तो नहीं है किसी के सर पे बंदूक रख के उसकी चोरी करना. There's many forms of चोरियां. There's many forms of how you steal. Stealing from your country. Corruption. Stealing data. Passing data. Corruption. Many forms. That is being a traitor. Or if you're a threat to your army, you're bloodthirsty for your army, you want the destruction of your army, that is being a traitor. If you're a dangerous individual or a group for the leaders of the country, or you are dangerous for your foreign embassies, the setup that we have to connect with the global world, That is a traitor. But regarding कोई बंदा सच बोल देता है, कोई बंदा कोई बात कर रहा है, यानी एकदम आप लोग इस तरह रिएक्ट करते हैं, जी आर्मी के खिलाफ बात कर रही है, ट्रेटर, कंप्लीट रबिश, कोई ट्रेटर नहीं है। और हमारी आर्मी कोई हिंदू आर्मी तो है नहीं है, जिस तरह कश्मीर में कोई जुल्म कर रही है, ठीक है। हम लोग कोई इतने नाइव नहीं, हम अपनी आर्मी का साथ नहीं कभी छोड़ेंगे। वी हैव कॉमन सेंस, ठीक है ना। काश हम लोग या खान और मुशर्रफ की, इन दो लीडर्स जो मिलिट्री के, इनकी गलतियों की वजह से अभी तक हमने अपनी आर्मी का साथ नहीं छोड़ा। दैट शुड बी इनफ इंडिकेशन फॉर द आर्मी टू रियलाइज हाउ मच द पब्लिक लव्स देम। Someone like myself, I would always say, where I have seen negativity, I have seen positivity. The positivity I see, we have had decorated officers. Ayub Khan, Asif Nawaz Janjua, Raheel Sharif. Recently in my lifetime, I was able to analyze Raheel Sharif. I'm very proud of him. General Ziaul Haq, to a certain degree, he was also decorated. He was very loyal to his state. So you will always have the opposite to the spectrum. You'll have the good and the bad. Common sense, that's where the public's common sense should come into play. You have some officers, Bekar, referral officers. There's many kind of words I can use regarding referral, but you can say they've had it easy. They've come through the easy way. So they show the egoistic life. They show that egoistic manner. But again, opposite. You have officers, alhamdulillah, dil dekh ke khush hota hai, top personalities, groomed. They know how to speak and talk, they know how to live, they know how to be the part of that, they live it. You know, unka jo ek persona hai, it is completely, mashallah, bada lagta hai, dedicated aadmi hai, decorated officer. Achhe maa baap ki tarbiyat leke aage aaya. Then you have your jawans. अल्लाह पाक जवानों में तो आपको पता है कशिश ही है, उनकी अपनी एक कशिश है। You see them at local MP checkposts, you see them, you know, with their entourage up and down GT Road and other locations. दिल खुश होता है, उनके लिए दुआएं निकलती हैं। So guys, coming to the end of the video, according to my experience and my knowledge, I have explained a little bit about hybrid warfare. What hybrid warfare is, how it can manipulate, and how the public can be alert and be able to translate that information if it is beneficial or is it creating a rift. So please do always study, always try to learn and sharpen your set skills regarding information of this warfare that is at the moment being played, and how around the globe information could be used as a rift between state and population, blackmail even, an emotional card. So we need to always be able to translate. So sharpen your set skills. With that, I am a civilian who likes to see Pakistan, inshallah, improve. So I'm going to just leave a certain advice and a suggestion. Pakistan is a third world country. It is quite poor. The currency of Pakistan is quite poor, weak. We have external forces always disrupting Pakistan. So when you have all these cases, and then you see, like myself, when you're on ground in Pakistan and you have traveled a few places and you see that only one area of Pakistan, just one small tiny area of Pakistan, that where the budget goes, that where the upgrade at the moment are currently being developed. But then you see the rest of the infrastructure, which is in poor condition. You see majority area in Pakistan, judiciary, the police, other federal government offices. You see your educational sector, you see the medical sector, hospitals. Many civil infrastructures that you see are quite very poorly governed. they operate very poorly. They are at the hands of people who are morally corrupt, cheap character people. So you have that. Then you see a very poor infrastructure. And with all these things only growing, it's building up, and there is a frustration. And then you have a government. At the moment, you have Imran Khan, whom came to power with his words. He had used magical words, honesty, and it's all about honesty. But he's a 70-year-old man. He is at the age of retirement, but yet he's being used as the poster boy. And I think he likes it, he enjoys it. But the performance of his government has not been to his magical words. They have not lived up to those words. So that is one suggestion, that we need to look into this matter. If somebody like Imran Khan has not been able to, set the federal government straight, has not been able to straighten everyone out, then we have a big problem. We have a big problem in our hands in the future. What do? I had already suggested perhaps one government of good men and women, young, in their 40s, in the early 50s, strong-minded, energetic, pragmatic officials need to be, selected, elected, but they need to be put in those positions so that they can perform and get the ball rolling in the public sector. There's a funny example I'm going to give. Pakistan, to how it has been in the last 40, 50 years, the trend, the mindset of the people, from top order to the bottom order, be any institution. It could be military, it could be public, any sector of Pakistan. There is a mindset that, we have to have a bit of the pie on the sly. Bit of the pie on the sly. Call it commission or whatever you want. Call it whatever you want. This commission mentality has been drilled in all the Pakistanis, that they have to have a bit of the pie on the sly. Almost every Pakistani, of any institution, any field. So there's a story I'm going to now. I'm going to tell you guys. There was a chap, a poor chap, and after working so hard and long in life, he decided to buy himself a car. And he bought himself a prestigious car, in and out, interior, spot on. He decides that I'm gonna rent out this car and make an income. The boss, he hires this driver. The driver, he has a decent resume. He's never had any accidents. He's able to keep the car safe. He has a vast experience of the road infrastructure. For example, from Jhelum to Lahore, he knows how the roads operate, how poorly the infrastructure is, how bad is our road users. So he has all that idea, and with all that hurdles, he's still able to keep the car safe and intact. And he knows the whole shebang of the car. So the boss, he decides to recruit him. And so starts this new venture. The driver is taking clients from Jhelum to Lahore, safe and sound, back. He hands over the money. And with time, the business is profitable enough. The rent of the showroom is being paid, the wages are being paid, the expense to run the business is being all settled and cleared. And so things are just moving forward. Gradually, they're moving forward. But the driver, वो जो कहते हैं ना पाकिस्तानी ड्रिल मेंटालिटी है, कमीशन मेरा हक है, मेरा हिसाब है, मेरी अकल है. ये कुरान पाक में भी जिक्र है, इंसान जब कोई करेगा ना वैसी हरकतें, اور جدھر اس کو کوئی فائدہ ہوگا تو وہ ہر ٹائم یہ کہا کرے گا یہ میری عقل کی وجہ سے. تو ڈرائیور بھی کہتا تھا جی میری عقل کی وجہ سے نا میرا حق ہے میں 2-3 ہزار روپے نا سائڈ پہ رکھ لوں. تو یہ کیا کرتا تھا جدھر 15,000 کرایہ بنتا تھا یہ جا کے مالک کو 13,000-12,000 پکڑا دیتا تھا پلس تنخواہ بھی لیتا تھا. لیکن وہ مینٹالٹی تھی نا میرا حق ہے میری عقل ہے میرا ایکسپیرینس ہے. لیکن یہ تھا سلسلہ چلتا رہا باس کے لیے جس میں وہ چل رہا تھا. لیکن ایک دن کیا ہوتا ہے کوئی نیک بندہ آتا ہے بڑا جذباتی سا بندہ نا پوسٹر بوائے جیسا نا آ جاتا ہے سر پہ کھڑا ہو جاتا ہے. تو باس کو کہتا ہے تمہارا ڈرائیور چور ہے تمہارے سے کمیشن کھاتا ہے میرے پاس ثبوت ہے میرے پاس سب کچھ ہے ہی از اے تھیف. تو باس بڑے غصے میں آ جاتا ہے. تو باس ڈرائیور کو کھڑا کر دیتا ہے تو جو بھی ہے اس کو لٹرن پٹرن سناتا ہے بے عزت کر کے نا فرق کر دیتا ہے. اب وہ جو آنےسٹ آدمی تھا نا وہ کہتا ہے جی میں آپ مجھے رکھو ٹھیک ہے اور میں تو آپ کا 1 روپے بھی نہیں کھاؤں گا میرے لیے تو حرام ہے. تو مالک بڑا خوش ہوتا ہے وہ کہتا ہے ٹھیک ہے آنےسٹ آدمی ہے تو وہ اس کو ایز اے ڈرائیور رکھ لیتا ہے. تو ڈرائیور جو نئے تھے وہ گاڑی میں بیٹھتے ہیں بڑے خوش چھاتی نکالی باہر شال سیٹ کیے ہوئے اینکے پہنی ہوئی گاڑی کی ڈرائیور سیٹ پہ بیٹھ جاتے ہیں اور 7 کلائنٹس لیے ہیں سیدھا جی ڈور کی طرف منہ ہے تو شروع ہو گئے اپنے فور دا جرنی. تو جہلم سے نا کھانے تک بھی نہیں پہنچتے تو نا تو بڑا ڈاڑا قسم کا ایکسیڈنٹ کر دیتے ہیں ٹھیک ہے. تو گاڑی کا بہت بڑا نقصان ہو جاتا ہے ٹھیک. ٹو دیٹ ایکسٹینٹ وہ گاڑی روڈ کے قابل نہیں رہتی. آنےسٹی تو ٹھیک تھی اس بندے کی لیکن اس کا کوئی ایکسپیرینس نہیں تھا ڈرائیونگ کا نہ اس کو گاڑی صحیح چلانے کا پتہ تھا نہ اس کو ایک عقل تھی اگلے روڈ یوزز کیسے ہیں نہ اس کو پتا تھا روڈ کا سٹرکچر کیسا ہے کچھ بھی نہیں اس کو پتا تھا. لیکن اس کی آنےسٹی تھی لیکن اس نے اگلے کا تو نقصان کر دیا کیونکہ اس کا کوئی ایکسپیرینس نہیں تھا ٹھیک ہے کوئی ایکسپیرینس نہیں تھا اگلے کا اس نے نقصان کر دیا اس کی گاڑی ضائع کروا دی. And so with this story it is kind of the same example I would say how Pakistan has been operated. Take the car as Pakistan, take the boss, the military and the public, we are the boss. Take the driver, the first driver as the previous governments, and take the honest leader, the honest man, the honest person to take over after the corrupt driver is Imran Khan. Imran Khan, the honest leader, but he has no experience to run a country. He has not been able to assemble a good team of people to run the country. And the result is before you. We are left now with the poster man and his speeches. But yet the country, it just seems to be just going down and down and down. But yet we have to just ghabrana nahi hai. We just have to continue waiting. Aur aapne ghabrana nahi hai. And 5 years his term will be completed. And through speeches, his honest speeches, he might decide to come back again. And he might even get elected again. But I hope this time the boss thinks deeply and understands that in the future we need to take proper steps. We need to put a team of men and women from the civil domain, good men and women, to run the country. Young, in their 40s, in their mid-50s, young people, energetic, who can go out there and, perform, get the ball rolling. With that, I would also like to just add another suggestion and advice that please, for the establishment, at the moment there is quite a lot of money, the yearly budget, a lot of the bulk money is being invested. on the private arm industries, on the facilities to upgrade them, the expansion of land ownership, where commercial lands, residential lands are to be distributed, for the pay packages to increase, and many other incentives. When you have all that system set in place, and the one who is paying for that cost is a very poor country, and when you look at the opposite side of the civil government, and you have all that rotten system in place, but yet the military setup is only going up and the civil domain is only going down. And these are the chemicals that I would say for uranium, lithium, and I think polonium. When these chemicals will collide and boom, something's going to happen one day. So I believe sometimes that even though it's quite clearly visible what's going on, but there seems to be an arrogant or a very cocky attitude that the public can't do anything. Is it really worth, just with that mindset going further in the next 10 years, that the public can't do anything? Don't do that, especially when you have so much external organizations whom are very, very active in investing, recruiting, and the example of hybrid warfare, a lot of information that's being bulked onto the social media. Certain things have to change in the future. I believe so anyway. And so, with this note, with sincere advices and suggestions, I can only hope one day that our elders, that they will heed and make some changes, make some reforms. And inshallah ta'ala, as I have always highlighted, we are one coin with two sides. We are nothing without each other. The public is not anything without the military, and the military will always need the public. And we just hope that we get in the future moral leaders, sharp leaders who know how to get the ball rolling, and perhaps we can come with a new team of old veterans with the apprentices, the newbies, get them together, and perhaps that chemical could flare up quite a light bright for the future. So inshallah ta'ala, with that positive note, I bid you farewell. Thank you for listening. Take care. Allah Hafiz.